Do you know what I watched? I watched the Kevin Hart documentary.
Oh, really?
Have you seen it?
No.
It's good.
I love
It
Kevin.
is fan-fucking-tastic.
I love that guy.
Because from a few people, some comics, like, don't watch that thing. It's him, like, boasting about himself, all this. I'm like, really? And then Jay texts me, he goes, have you watched Kevin Hart documentary on Netflix? I go, no. He goes, I work on computers and I'm inspired. Watch it. He goes, one of the best docs I've ever seen. It's a 5-part series. So obviously it's his thing, you know. It's called Don't Fuck This Up. Mm-hmm. The stuff that he left in that makes him look bad, you just can't help but love the guy.
I love him. I told you that.
Yeah, I know.
He's one of my favorite people.
So they leave in, him cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
They show his, when he finds out, it was one of his best friends who did it. He talks about that. They have a scene on there because he has his, red paper cup boys, what the fuck they call them, his crew they came up with.
They're all good, and they're all great. His crew's great.
Yeah, they're all doing their own thing, right? But he has his trainer who's with him all the time, who's his boy. And they're super close. He's part of the Red Cup Boys or whatever it is. And he once he finds out one of his friends is the one who tried to extort money from him and film the sex tape and leaked it to his wife. Once he found that out, he had this horrible resentment in him. And he's like, it's going to come out one way or the other, and just came out. And I was going to edit, but I decided not to let you guys see it. So him and his boys are doing a show in Philadelphia, some giant arena. And they're flying back on his private jet, and they're drinking and they're gambling. And Kevin goes, so I decided to leave it in so you guys can see how it is. Dude, I was like, I can't believe he left this in. Because he's just drinking and something, he has this inside him. It's going to get out. And his buddy, who's his trainer, who's his closest friend, he starts arguing. He goes, so you're telling me you would have made money if it weren't for me? And his trainer was successful. We met Kevin. He's like, are you shitting me? He goes, yeah. He goes, you own a home, motherfucker? And he's belittling him. He's like, you don't make money. You wouldn't be shit without me. This trainer's huge. They are literally about to fight. His boys get between them. The stewardess on the plane called the cops, so they land. The cops are there. So Kevin the next day is like, hey, I had this horrible issue. It was coming one way, nothing but love. And so the next day they're all good. But the stuff he left in is nuts. His dad. He has his dad in there.
Yeah, he talks about his dad.
They have when you were supposed to host the Oscars. I got choked. There's his trainer. Shout out to his trainer. I got choked up because he's doing shows in Australia. And they show him when he gets the call to host the Oscars. And he doesn't get that emotional on the show. He gets emotional when his buddy gets married. But when he gets the call from the Oscars, I got choked up.
We got to get him on the podcast.
Yes. We got to get because he called because he goes, okay, sounds good. No, I really appreciate the opportunity. He hangs up and the camera's right there. He goes, he goes, what did he say? He goes, Chris Rock, Bill Cosby, and goes through the names that host the Oscar. And he goes, and Kevin Hart. And he starts talking to his mom who passed away. Wow. And he's like, this is for you. I know you're watching. Wow. I was getting emotional. And he's like, this is the biggest step in my career. And he's like emotional. And he's like, I can't wait. And then it shows these fucking bloggers bringing up his old tweets.
Fuck you.
And they film and they cover everything where he's he
said sorry 50,000 times.
But he admits he made a mistake because his publicist goes, Kevin, you're not dealing with this right. You have to acknowledge, because he said his thing goes, if my son was gay, I'd whoop his ass, I'd do this.
Yeah.
He didn't acknowledge the violence part. Yeah. He just said, I apologize, that's not me. Yeah. But he didn't actually own it and come out with it.
Yeah.
But it shows before he did the video or anything, his publicist and his team's like, Kevin, this is what we're gonna have to do to make sure you're all good with the Oscars and all that. And he's not listening to him and posts a video from his bed. And his boys who are comics are clown like, this motherfucker didn't get out of bed. He goes, he has 3 chains on like he's fucking easy. His eyes are barely open. He's just like, hey, listen. He's just firing off what he wants to do.
I remember that.
And his publicist is like, I'm telling you, man, you're fucking up.
Yeah.
And so you can see all these companies stop fucking with him. And his friends, like he was doing that movie with what's his name? The guy from Breaking Bad. That movie.
Oh, Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston. Yeah, he's like, Bryan Cranston's out as far as doing PR with you because he's on Broadway and there's a big LBGQ community up there.
Damn.
And Kevin goes, oh, no, I get it. And she goes, we need to issue an apology. He goes, tell him to watch Ellen. I've already done it on there. She goes, Kevin, that's not going to work, man. If you're going to do this, you have to acknowledge it. He's like, nah, fuck that. I'm not doing this. And then it shows now, right? That was like a year ago. It shows him now. And he's like, yeah, I fucked up. He's like, there's a lot of times I'm right. And he goes, I was so wrong on that. He was, I got in my head. And I'm with you. Remember when that came out? We're like, fuck these people. I'm with Kevin. He's right. He's apologized. When you watch it, Kevin is even like, yeah, I didn't own it. Yeah. I was just like, no, it's old shit. And that's the way I thought. I thought I was doing the right thing, but I didn't own it.
Yeah, he's.
I'm telling you, that documentary is so
Oh,
intriguing.
and by the way, just really quickly, remember when I said that Bill Cosby had about 20 specials? He does. Remember how we looked it up and it was only one?
Bill Cosby?
Yeah.
No, you were
Remember
right.
how-
I thought we looked it up.
No, and
Albums.
we only could find one album.
No, we found like a few.
He's
We
done
just didn't-
20.
we-
He's
you
done.
said, like,
He's done over 23 albums.
There was like a specific type of special that you guys were asking for, like 1 hour.
No, but we were looking.
When was this?
Because how many? You asked how many 1 hours he had.
Years ago?
No, this is about a couple months ago, and I was like, "Oh, he's done 25 or something," and we could only find one for whatever reason. But then I looked it up on Rogan. Rogan was like, Jamie was like, "There are 23, some crazy number of hours,
don't
like
know.
crazy." Like I'm just saying, like Bill Cosby, as fucked up as he is, we were talking about what he was as a comic.
Who was you and I were?
We were all talking about.
I don't know where you're going.
I was talking about. I was just because you mentioned Bill Cosby with the Oscars and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
on comics, but he was so.
It's
prolific.
so tragic though, in that we see Kevin was such a big deal for him. You're like, oh. God.
I want to see this documentary, man.
And but you
He's
can't
such a gutsy
help
guy.
but love him.
and he's
even-
getting shit for that too, right? He's getting shit for the.
I don't think so. They're just dumbasses online. They're like, yo, this dog's bullshit,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
hater comics. But
He wins. He's.
oh, dude, he wins every time. But what's funny is like you see how good he takes care of the people around him, his team,
yeah, man.
how grateful he is, and how
I'm telling you,
and how he gives to
I
everybody.
saw with my own eyes, and no one else did this. He did this on the DL. This girl wasn't even his. She was this little gal who was running back and forth, and she was probably like 40, and she was just, it was so hard for her, and she was trying to do all this stuff, and some guy was like spilled something, and he just I watched him clock it. He just watched clock it, reached in, pulls out like $300-400, and he just goes like, he goes, "You're doing a great job tonight, thank you," and he did it really quietly, just to help that person out.
It's funny
He's
because
such a
his
fucking
dad,
good guy.
like, he didn't, right? His dad was absentee father,
Cocaine
so
addict.
he just wasn't around. Cocaine, name it. He wasn't around, but his dad's around now, right? And he has some condition where he needs like all this medical device. And Kevin's bringing around the family, and the dad's not doing well. And he's like, "Hey, Kevin," so he takes him aside, and again, I can't believe Kevin left stuff in. He's they're like in this like suite or in New York something. And he's like, "Hey, Kev, I need this," and he goes, "Dad, stop! I don't need to run around. I don't need the whole sad story. What do you need?" He's like, "But brother, I need about $7,000." He goes, "I was gonna give you 20, so just come to me and tell me how much. Don't give me the runaround. I'm gonna give you 20." He goes, "Oh, that's more than enough." He goes, "All right, go on."
I love it.
But you're like, "Fuck, dude."
I love it. That kind of money. Just here you go. Give me money, man. Why don't you ever do that for me? I got to come to you and ask you with my. What the fuck is going
Oh,
on?
fuck, dude.
How much?
You gotta watch it, man.
Listen, I got some stuff going on. Yeah.
What do you got going on,
Do
dude?
this right now.
Yeah.
Watch your tone.
Okay. What's going to happen? What are you going to do? Use some of that boxing you've been doing?
Don't you fucking disrespect.